If you run an Amazon agency, your creative line is probably bleeding time. 45-day fulfillment cycles, endless revisions, clients chasing you for images that should have been shipped 2 weeks ago. That used to be us. About a year ago, we changed how we run the creative production. And it turned the worst margin line in our business into the best one. I'm going to show you how. I help run Horison. We manage over 200 Amazon brands. Our lifetime managed revenue is north of about $1 billion, and our average year-on-year growth across the portfolio is around 86%. About a year ago, we figured out something about creative production that fundamentally changed how we ran the agency. This video is the version of that lesson I wish someone had given me years ago. If you run an Amazon agency or any e-commerce service business, watch the whole thing. Let me lay out the maths. Standard pricing for creative services in the agency market sits at over $1,000 per listing. Hero refreshes, lifestyle scenes, premium A+ modules. That is the price the market pays. Now, let's look at your cost stack. And I'm going to skip the bit most videos start with, the bit about photographers, because we both know that that is not where most modern agencies are anymore. Most agencies, including ours, moved off photographers a long time ago and onto generic AI image tools. So the cost stack is not a studio bill. The cost stack is time, revisions, spot editing, account manager, hours steering generations that never quite get there, product management overhead, the 45-day fulfillment contracts you signed because your generic AI tool needed 3 rounds of revision to produce 1 usable image. By the time that you absorb all of that, your margin on creative work is somewhere between 10 and 25%. Compare that to your retainer service where margins are 50 to 70%. Creative is the worst performing line in your business. So, most agencies treat it as a necessary loss leader. The reason agencies tolerate the bad margin is that creative is sticky. Once you control the visual assets for a brand, you control the listing, which means you control the account, which means you keep the retainer. Agencies absorb the margin hit because they are protecting the bigger revenue line. The problem is that you are leaving money on the table in 2 ways. 1, you are running thin on a service the client values highly. 2, you are still pricing the old reality where the input was either a photographer or a generic AI tool that needed endless babysitting. The cost side has compressed. The agencies that have noticed are the ones quietly making creative their highest margin line. Here is what changed for us. The shift was not AI replacing photography. We were already using AI. The shift was purpose-built e-commerce AI replacing generic AI. Generic AI tools work for marketing imagery. They do not work for Catalogue. They cannot read a transparent product. They get sizing wrong. They produce images that break Amazon's image policy. Every revision cycle is a fight. Every spot edit eats hours. Selluna is built specifically for e-commerce. 3 things changed our economics. 1, the product brain. For complex products like transparent serums or lip glosses, anything textured, you train the model once on the product. 5 minutes of setup, and after that, every generation comes back clean. The spot editing cycle that used to eat 80% of our creative team's time disappears. 2, every output is policy compliant for Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, eBay by default. We are not running compliance quality checks on every export. That is built in. 3, multi-generate has no upload limit. We queue hundreds of images at the same time, and each one processes in under 2 minutes. The 45-day fulfillment contract is now a 5-day turnaround. Some of our clients get faster than that. The cost per usable image dropped from somewhere around $60 to $80 in operational time, down to around $6. The win rate against original photography sits at 84%. Sales lift across our portfolio averages around 18.4%. The market price for the service did not move. We are still charging over $1,000 per creative. That is not a 10 to 25% margin service anymore. That's a 90% margin service. The agencies doing this best are not just swapping cost stacks, they are repackaging the offer. 3 packages I have seen work. 1. Catalogue refresh. Flat fee per SKU. Billed quarterly, covers main images plus 2 lifestyle images per listing. Anchored at $250 to $400 per SKU. Cost to produce is around $15. Multiply that across a 500 SKU client catalog and you're running a $150,000 quarterly line at over 90% margin. 2. A/B testing program. Sold as a managed service, you generate hero variants every quarter. Run them through Amazon's testing tools, report on lift. Priced as a percentage of the lift you create or as a flat retainer at $3,000 to $6,000 a month. The client buys outcomes. You produce them at a near zero variable cost. 3. International expansion creative. When a brand goes from the US to UK to Germany to Japan, every market needs localized images, translated packaging text, market-specific lifestyle settings, and regional modules. This used to be a 6-figure project per market. With purpose-built AI, it is a single retainer. Most agencies do not even sell this yet, and the brands expanding internationally are desperate for it. There is a fear I hear from agency owners. If I tell my client I'm using AI, they will refuse to pay agency rates for it. You are not selling AI. You are selling outcomes. The client is buying a hero image that increases conversion by 18% and ships in 5 days, not 45. They do not care if you produced it with a camera, a pencil, or a model. They care that it works and it is shipped on time. That said, do not lie. If a client asks you how you produced the work, be transparent. Frame it as the modern creative stack. We use a purpose-built e-commerce AI platform with brand-trained product memory, a human creative director, and in-house quality check. That is true, it is professional, and it is exactly how a modern creative studio describes itself. The clients who care about the input are usually the wrong clients for this offer. The clients you want are the ones who measure conversion lift and turnaround time. 3 steps. 1. Pick 3 clients with active catalogs. Run a 30-day pilot. Refresh their hero images on the new stack. Measure that conversion change and turnaround time. 2. Use those results as your sales asset for the rest of your roster. You are not pitching AI. You are pitching a proven 18% lift with a 5-day turnaround with a case study to back it. 3. Repackage your creative line. Move from hourly to outcome-based pricing. Kill the 45-day fulfillment contract. Anchor on the result, not the input. Within a quarter, your worst margin service line becomes your best. If you want the platform we use inside Horison, it's called Selluna. The code Selluna30 will give you 30% off your first month, plus a 7-day free trial to run a pilot before you spend anything. Subscribe for more on agency operations and Amazon strategy. Until then, I will see you next time.